Hey there, my name is Inês. I'm a violin performer, teacher and workshop facilitator, and this is the second video of a two-part discussion on motivation. When all my concerts and workshops and all the engagements I had started being cancelled due to the pandemic, I went through a phase of, not feeling motivated. I didn't know what I was working towards. At some point though, I felt like I just wanted to try. I wanted to find my motivation, my purpose, my direction. And as I tried many different strategies to help me improve my motivation, I made lots of mistakes. Lots of things just don't work. And now that I found the things that work for me, I really want to share them with you. So the first step to reconnect with my motivation and to find my direction was to really understand what are my passions, what is my purpose, what are my strengths. Because knowing those things clearly is what allows us to set purposeful goals and to actually start moving. And that's exactly what the first episode of this series was about, and you can find it in the description below. Another really important thing to keep in mind is that our lack of motivation or lack of creativity or even laziness can be caused by many hidden things. Those can be things like insecurity, self-doubt, anxiety about the future. And that's why you're gonna always hear me talking about self-knowledge, because it's only through understanding our feelings and our thoughts that we can find the solutions, meaningful solutions to our very unique problems. Then this episode is about the next step. You getting to know yourself and finding the routines that work for you, the routines that will set you up for success. So I'll be sharing some thoughts on routines and why they're good for motivation. I'll be sharing some science, and I'll be sharing what works for me.
So let's dive right in.
The question that you might be asking yourself now is, why routines? I myself used to think that routines just make life automatic and boring. But actually, it's exactly the opposite.
Well, science shows that having healthy and clear daily routines can, for example, help us manage our stress and anxiety, increase our self-esteem, and boost our creativity and productivity.
To me, there are three main reasons why routines are so important in my life. The first one is that motivation won't always be enough to get us going. So in the past, sometimes I wouldn't feel motivated to practice or to work, and then I would feel like that meant that I didn't love music that much, and I would resent myself so much for that. But you know what? That's bullshit. It's absolutely normal to sometimes lose our direction, our vision, our motivation, because we're human, and without those routines and without that self-discipline, it's normal that our brain will tell us
watching a movie is much more fun than practice, so just don't bother.
And that's why those routines and self-discipline are so important, because motivation won't always be there. Routines eliminate unnecessary decision-making processes. As a super indecisive person, having routines is so important for me to not waste time with indecisions and getting lost in my endless doubts. Because clearly planned routines eliminate that need for decisions because everything is already planned. It improves our self-esteem and self-worth because we show ourselves that we can do it. This one is a huge one for me because by sticking to my routines, I'm showing myself that with discipline, I can do whatever I set my mind to. And by sticking to those routines, basically, I'm sending my brain a message that I'm strong, I'm resilient, I believe in myself, I know my worth. And then that self-confidence will actually boost my motivation. So when it comes to routines, it's really important to have in mind that there's no one-size-fits-all strategy, and there's no quick fix strategies that will solve everyone's problems with motivation. Because we all have different backgrounds, we all have different lives, we all have different needs really. So this video is a good place to start exploring, because I'm going to tell you now what works for me. But then you can read the articles I put in the description, you can read books about it, you can listen to podcasts, you can chat to your friends, to your close friends and family, and see what works for them. What do they suggest for you? To me, the first and most important thing is to have a great morning routine. Starting the day in the right place, in the right mindset, will really help the rest of the day just go much better. So here's how my mornings during the week go. My alarm will go off at 6:45 in the morning. So then at 7 a.m. I work out for 40 minutes. And I prepare my clothes the night before. I use an app for the workout so that there's as little space for indecision. Working out is the first thing I do in the morning because it helps me feel super energized, focused, motivated, and actually also really proud of myself for the fact that the first thing that I do in the morning is taking care of my mental and physical health. Then after that, what I'll do is between 7:45 and 9 a.m. I'll shower and have breakfast with my boyfriend. And to me, that's really important to have that time to connect with him. Also within that time over breakfast, another important thing is that we use it to talk about our plans for the day as well. And saying out loud what you're going to do is really, really helpful. For me, it really helps me stay, on track, motivated to do it. And then at 9 a.m., I have my meditation and a daily written reflection. I use an app for that too. This moment of meditation is really important because it helps me enter a space of clarity and focus, which is really important to me before I start working. I also feel that meditation is actually helping my productivity because it forces me to train my mind to be focused on one thing at a time, which is great. Then it's after all this that I will take time to check my phone, reply to any messages, and check my emails as well. And if there's anything that I can reply quickly, I'll also do it then. For me, it's really important that I don't check my phone or my emails before I completed all the other tasks. So exercising, meditation, getting ready, having breakfast, all these things. Because I know if I check the messages or the emails and there's something that worries me, I know that I won't be focused on my routines. And also, by not checking my phone and my email before I completed all my morning routines, is also sending my mind a message that I am my priority. So not my messages, not my email, not social media. I am my priority, my well-being. And that's my morning routine. So if you want to know more about routines or if you're thinking of setting routines for yourself, just check the description below again. I'll pop a couple of articles that I really enjoyed reading. They talk about the science behind routines, why routines matter. They talk about how creating new routines takes time, and so it's important to do it gradually because research consistently shows that too many changes too fast make us give up. So now, before we end, I really wanted to share with you 3 ideas that really helped me overall with motivation. The first one is surround yourself with inspiration. So the first thing that really helped me change my relationship with motivation was to be really careful with who I spend time with and what I was exposed to. This means people you talk to, being that via text, in person, calls, or even people that you follow on social media. So make sure you're surrounded by people who fight for their dreams, people who are determined, who are inspiring, and people who inspire you to be better. When we're surrounded by people who are creative, kind, compassionate, we tend to absorb those things from them. We tend to try to be more like that.
And again, a link to an article in the description.
And even more important than all of that is to make sure that you find the time to become your own best friend. It will give you the happiness and the self-love that you need in order to give more mindful love to those that you love. My second thought is know those activities that make you feel better, safer, calmer, or happier. What are those activities that can help you? Is it reading an inspiring book? Is it listening to an empowering podcast? Or maybe going for a walk in the nature? In days when you might be feeling really down, it's important that you sit with those emotions and understand where they come from. But then it's also important to find your own strategies to help you get out of that negative position. These moments, they are not an escape from your negative feelings. They are a way of creating a space for you to feel that it's okay to feel like that. And those negative feelings, like anything else, they come, but they also go. And my third thought is live in the present and be mindful of your feelings. I'm always reminding myself of the importance of living in the present because we can't predict the future. We can only make sure that we're doing the best, that we're giving our best. and we can change the past. All we can do is make sure that we learned from our mistakes and from the problems that we faced in the past. When I'm feeling anxious about the future or worried about something in the past, something that really helps me is mindful breathing and mindful meditation. And when I'm using those strategies to fight my fears or anxiety, what I do is actually that I imagine that I'm observing my fears and my problems from the outside. So I'm just an observer, and that really allows me to look at my problems with clarity, and it allows me to look for meaningful solutions to those problems. However, sometimes things will have no solution, and then this sort of exercises can also be a way of accepting that. As my mom always tells me, problems that have no solution are already solved. And that's it for me today. So thank you so much for joining me. If you have any thoughts that you would like to share with me, I would love to hear them. And if there's anything in particular that's helping you stay positive, also do share, because we can all learn from each other's experience.